folks, how y'all doing? Happy Thursday to you. Let's get this show started. All right, like always, we want to start out with $500 discount every week to our military personnel, healthcare workers, educators, and first responders. If you're one of those people looking for a building, make sure you let us know and we'll give you an extra $500. I'm not sure that our competitors do that. If they do, they're not letting anybody know. All right, so also if you want to upgrade your building to our signature or our elite, type in cash and we'll give you an extra $1,000. All right, referral program, folks, this works. If you know somebody looking for a building, you refer them over to us. When they purchase their building, we'll give you $200. You can do that as many times as you want, okay? Now, about Mallett Building, as you know, we've been in business for 26 years. We are a licensed professional engineering firm. We design all of our buildings in-house. We build all of our truss in-house. We invite you here to view our truss plant and our whole operation. I'm not sure our others competitors have been in business for more than a couple of years. And if they have been in business, I'm not sure they have the proper license, okay? We do. We're fully licensed commercial and residential for those kind of projects. We have a reputation you can trust, folks, 26 years. We're going to be here for the long haul. We are constantly improving our processes, getting better and better to build better buildings, the best in the industry for you, the customer, okay? You can find that out. We have over 500 reviews on the BBB and Google, okay? No contractor violations. I'm sure if you look, most of our competitors out there, if not all of them, have some type of contractor violation. Do your due diligence and make sure you're doing business with the people that's going to follow through with your project, okay? So we are right here in Iowa, Louisiana. Lee Mallett, our owner, he gives back to the community. He gives back to the state. This is just a few people that we give back to. We couldn't fit them all on the board. Year after year, we contribute. All the way down to the little league baseball teams, football teams, all that. All that we can't put on the board, folks. That's a lot of people. There's plenty more that we couldn't fit. All right, now, guaranteed quality. When you shop at Mallett Building, you are guaranteed quality. We have a reputation to uphold here. We build the best building in the industry, okay? We use a #1 kiln dry MCA treated lumber, okay? You got lifetime warranty against termites, rot, fungal decay, and rust, okay? A lot of people laugh at that, but wood don't rust, okay? Customer first approach, personalized service from concept to completion, advanced 3D modeling tool. Folks, the best way to get a building is to go to our website, play with our tool that we give you, build your building to what you want. You can pick the color, you can pick the size, you can pick where you want the roll-up door. That is the best way to do it. Submit it, our building specialist is going to get it, and we're going to give you a quote. You're going to have to do that anyway. I recommend you do that. Plus, it's cool. You can actually build your building of your dreams right there. We'll fine-tune everything, but it's good to have that initial size and how many roll-up doors, stuff like that you can do. You can add your lean-tos, gable extensions, everything right there on our tool. If you have any problems with that, customer service here will help you through that, but I recommend you use our 3D model, okay? Building options. So you know here, as of right now, things could change in the future because we are always upgrading our process. Right now, though, we have the value building, signature building, and elite series building. I'll tell you a little bit about what we have. Now, also, listen, folks, our competitors, their best building does not compare to our value building, our lowest tier building. Their best doesn't compare to our value, okay? I'll show you why. All right, but before I show you why, let's talk about a few elite. Best building in the market right here, in the industry right here, and I have a couple of specials for you. You got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $43,998. You got a 40 by 50 by 12 for $53,950. You got a 40 by 60 by 12 for $61,598. This is our elite package. You do not get better than this. This is the best building in the industry, bar none. quality, backed by this whole staff here. Like I mentioned earlier, we build our own truss. We are a licensed engineering firm. Our competitors are sending off plans, if they're even doing that, and getting someone else to stamp that. So what does that mean to you? Well, they might not look at it. They might just be stamping it to get paid. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is we have some flexibility on that cost. Our competitors don't. They have to charge you and mark up what they're being charged to do that. So remember that when you're shopping. Everything that you do with us is in-house here. All right? Now, value building. Let's talk about why our value building is better than our competitors' best building. Why? Okay, we use kiln-dry and MCA treated lumber. Why is that important? Most of our competitors are going to use, they're going to tell you treated lumber. Okay? Now, because they don't give you a spec sheet, we don't know what all they're treating. That's number one. Number two, they're probably buying it from the local lumber yards, which is going to be wet treated lumber. Why don't you want wet treated? Well, wet treated lumber, when you put a screw in it, you're going to see a little bit of liquid come out of it. That's because it hadn't been dried. We pay extra to dry our wood. That is important because when you torque down your screw for your sheeting, the sun's going to dry it out. If you don't have dry kiln, the sun's going to dry it out and it can actually untorque that screw, could cause leaks later on in life. That's number one. Number two, 4,000, 4 inch, they're going to give you 4 inch, but on our value building, we give you 4 inch. Our competitors are going to give you 3,000 PSI. We are standard at 4,000 PSI with microfiber added to that. We add microfiber every yard. It takes 1 bag of fiber per yard. So that costs money. Our competitors don't do that. Why is that important? 4,000 PSI is 33% stronger than 3,000 PSI. Okay, so right off the bat, you're getting a stronger concrete from us, standard. Number two, when you add that microfiber into the concrete, it's going into the whole volume of that concrete. So we know that it's mixing in the whole volume. Whereas if they're using the wire mats, first of all, it's rusty. That's going to cause problems, oxidation and all that inside your concrete, which could cause flaking. But if they pour that concrete too wet, and that mat could sink to the bottom. So they're guessing that wire mesh mat is in the middle of your slab. We don't like to guess here at Mallett. That's why we put microfiber in and we know that it's going in the whole volume. That's number two, folks. Number three, engineered cable retention system. Their best can't compete with our value. Why? For them two reasons. And the third one is our cable retention system. Look, we have proven through the hurricanes in the past, been through 16 hurricanes. Our buildings are superior when you're dealing with uplift winds. If that wind gets in that building, you may lose a couple of sheets of tin, and it's going to get in that building. It's going to have to lift that whole concrete slab up to get to destroy your building. That's why Lee and the engineers invented the cable retention system. Okay, we put concrete under every post. Our competitors don't do that, folks. That's important. It costs money. It costs extra, okay, to do everything that I'm telling you to do costs extra, okay? Our competitors don't do it. We do it here. Why do we do it and why do we standardize that? Is because we know it's a superior product for you, the customer. We could do a cheaper building. Obviously, we could do a cheaper building, but it doesn't make sense to do a cheaper building for you, the customer, who is looking for something that wants to last a lifetime. That's why we do everything we do here, and our competitors don't. Concrete under every post. 2x6 scissor truss standard on the value building. Our competitors are not going to do that, okay? I'm thinking they're probably going to give you white wood. And if they do offer scissor truss, they're going to upcharge you. This is standard on this value building. This building is 30 mile an hour wind rating. We are a licensed engineer firm. We stamp our plans here in-house. We build our truss and stamp those plans here in-house. We design our buildings here in-house, okay? Now, that's the value series, folks. The signature, you're going to jump up to 2x8 scissor truss standard. You got a 5-on-12 roof pitch. I'll show you why that's important in a minute. 26 gauge metal is standard on all of our buildings. Go back to the value, it's standard on the value. Our competitors are going to use 29 gauge. It's cheaper, folks. We're building you a better building, all right? Roof and wall insulation on the signature series building, you're still going to get the 4-inch, 4,000 PSI concrete with microfiber. That's standard on this building. Our competitors are not going to do that. You get 2 10x10 roll-up doors, 1 walk-through door. You get a 6-year workmanship warranty in the signature building. On the value building, you get a 4-year workmanship warranty. Okay? Of course, you get all the exact screws. All of our buildings, you're going to get 4x4 framework over walk-through doors and windows. Okay? Now, when you jump up to the Elite, nobody does this. Actually, nobody does any of our buildings. Okay? But when you get to the Elite building, we're so far advanced from our competition, they just won't be able to catch us, folks. You get all treated lumber, kiln dry. You notice that we make sure we put that in every one of our building series because we know that our competitors aren't using that. We know that that is very important to build your building with, okay? Engineered 2x8 scissor truss, 10-year workmanship warranty. Some of our competitors out there are offering a 10-year workmanship warranty too, and they only been in business for a couple of years. I find that very hard to understand, okay? This particular building, the Elite package, we're going to do 3-foot truss spacing. There's a whole lot of wood in that package. More money, okay? Costs more. We're giving it to you in this package. We're going to shorten up our post spacing and our truss spacing. Post spacing is going to be 9 foot. You still get that 5-on-12 roof pitch, 2 10x10 roll-up doors, 26 gauge metal standard, roof and wall insulation. We're going to give you gutters and gutter brushes with this Elite package, folks. You add that up, linear foot around the perimeter of your building, and it's a huge savings thrown in on this package. Now, on the Elite, you're upgrading to 6-inch slab. Still $4,000 PSI, but listen, 6-inch is 2.5 times stronger than 4-inch. Number one, you're still getting the 4,000 PSI, okay? Our competitors just is not going to do this, folks. They're going to charge you an arm and a leg for that, okay? And on the Elite package, we're going to cut control joints. That's another $1 a square foot value, okay? We come back after that, we cut control joints. We want to tell that concrete where we want it to crack, if it cracks, okay? Post protectors on the Elite package. Insulated windows, and of course you get everything else, continuous ridge vents. You're going to get wainscoting on this. That's the added cost we throw in on that. This building is 145 mile an hour wind rated, folks. This is the kind of building you need when the hurricanes come, okay? Now, it's cheaper elsewhere. You know, there is a lot of buildings cheaper elsewhere, folks. But look, cheap and strong doesn't usually live in the same building. We're not here to beat the lowest price. We're here to build the last building you'll ever need. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We do things to build that building that's going to last a lifetime, okay? You're comparing our building to a kit is like comparing a tool shed to a real shop. We get that. A cheaper quote is tempting. We understand that. I mean, look, when you're shopping for a building, you know, you're out there, you're thinking to yourself, I need a building, okay? I need to put my boat in something. I need something. And so you don't want to spend that much money, but and then you might find a tubular building. That's where I'm going with this, okay? Tubular, it just doesn't add up, folks. Let me get into it, okay? Basically, a tubular building is these old sheds you can buy down the road. This is what we build here, folks. You know, you get what you pay for. All right, you want a steak dinner or you want a TV frozen dinner. You get what you pay for, folks. Cheap and strong doesn't usually live in the same building. I mean, this is what's going to happen if you buy those tubular buildings, okay? So, tubular and steel building materials. Let's talk about that. This is what a lot of people are tempted to go with. Why? Because they fool you. First of all, they give you a quote, and the quote that they're giving you, they're selling you a kit. Then they're going to hire somebody to go put this kit together, okay? But then what they don't tell you is you gotta put a slab in, okay? So once you add all that up, you're not far from a value building, price-wise. You're way far from a value building material-wise, though, okay? So I love this video. Let's watch it real quick. This is a tubular style shed.
1, 0, all engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
You can see that other building about to take off. But here's what happens with this tubular stuff. Whether you have it on the ground or you have it inside on concrete, they're going to put these little bitty anchor bolts. If it's in gravel or something, you're in real trouble, okay? But this is what it amounts to. You got these little anchor bolts that's holding this thing in. This is not even a bolt. This is just driven into the ground, all right? And you can see that building when it comes up. This is what only thing that was holding that up. Now, if you go to a steel building, this is what you're going to get over time. That thing's going to start rusting. Okay? It's going to happen, folks. It will happen. It will condensate and start rusting. This is what you're going to end up with. Okay? Now, let's talk about this. Now, this is, this will go for the red iron, steel, or tubular. So, in red iron, they use these anchor bolts too. Now, you got to understand, red iron is heavy, 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 heavy. All your weight, remember Daryl the other day, all your weight is on the slab. Now you're going to try to hold all this weight up with a couple of bolts that are embedded in the slab. So when that wind comes to get there, it's going to start rocking. It's not going to take long. Now if it's a new building, it may take a little bit longer. But what happens over time, okay, I'm going to show you, I have a study here. But when you're talking about the tube building, it's only 15 gauge metal. And they fool you with the stamp plans on that. That's deflection. They're telling you on those little tubular buildings, that thing can bend all the way like this, and they're saying it didn't fail because it didn't snap. Well, that's just wrong in my book, okay? But take a look at our building compared to a red iron building. Look at the amount of wood in here. Our posts are 3 foot, minimum 3 foot, maybe 4 foot in the ground here, folks. Look at the post spacing. Look at the truss spacing. Look over here at red iron, okay? You're 20 to 20 something foot span. Right here, you're 9 or 10, okay? Look at these purlings and girts on this thing. They're so far apart, folks. You're going to have less screws in here holding that sheeting up. That's another failed deal on that. We're going to have probably 2.5 times the amount of screws that a red iron building will have. Something to think about, folks. Not to mention, look at the way these columns, I think I got another picture. Hold on, let's see what we got. Oh, these were these anchor bolts I was talking to you about. These things are going to rust over time, folks. That's all that's holding this red iron building up. And all the weight is on your slab, okay? So you're dependent on your slab here, okay? And if you don't have a good foundation, you're dependent, all the weight is on that slab. In post-frame construction, what we do, none of the weight is on the slab. It's all on the posts, which are embedded in the ground, tied in with our cable retention system underneath that concrete. So uplift protection is superior to all other buildings out there. Okay, this is the little study this is a 2-year study that our friend Mr. Tackett gave us. 304 stainless steel, one of the best bolts you can buy. 304 stainless. In 2 years, you're already starting to see decay on this. When you get into galvanized, you really can see it. And then regular steel, look at this, it's almost completely rusted through. All right? Keep that in mind. This is what we do. We embed our posts in the ground on top of a pad, and it has to be, all the posts got to be taken out, which we make it impossible because we put that cable retention. We tie that cable retention system throughout all of the posts with aircraft cable. All right? Going back to the tubular, this is a joke, folks. I mean, this thing, I mean, you better be careful of what size fan you put blowing in this thing, because it could blow away. I mean, this thing here, it's your money, you do what you want. But if you're looking something that'll last maybe a year or two, then buy this. But is it really cheaper at that point? You'd have to buy 4 or 5 of these things to last, maybe even more than that, to last as long as a Mallett building would last. Just something to think about. Oh, let's see. Oh, showed you that picture. Okay. Now, this is where I wanted to show you. Most of your tubular and or red iron is only going to have a 2-on-12 pitch. You may get stuff on there, pine needles and all that can't even come off of that. That's almost flat. In fact, they will have to use tape under every sheet there because the manufacturer minimum is 3-on-12 pitch. They use 2-on-12. This is what we standardize in our Signature and Elite Series building. We still put the 4-on-12 pitch on our value, but it's still superior to any red iron or tubular you get. So that's the difference, folks, and it looks better. All right. Now, if you go with steel, you're building and you build out, you're going to build something inside of this. Doesn't make sense to me. All right? Now, I mean, they're building a house inside of a building. You're going to spend way too much money. And the part I want to look for is right here. Okay, now, this is where that ceiling's going to stop. So you can't even get good ceiling height in there if you're trying to build out. Notice how this column is narrow at the bottom and getting wider and wider and wider. Okay? So if you wanted to go high, you have to build out here, which you're going to lose a lot of your internal square foot. A lot of people don't think about that. When you take 2 or 3 foot around the perimeter of your building, you're losing a lot of valuable dollar square foot on the inside. A lot of people don't think about that until it's too late, because you have to come out unless you want exposed, but you see they're coming out. That's probably 2 foot right there that they had to come out. All right, I don't think I got a better picture, but then they build it inside. You can, when you buy a Mallett building and you know you want to build it out, we can shorten up, we can put your truss spacing at 2 foot where you can just receive your sheetrock right on top of that. They're building inside of this building. Just don't make sense. And then look what happens to steel buildings through these hurricanes. Them anchor bolts just is not going to hold up, folks. See how that whole building starts to rock? Them anchor bolts gave out at the bottom of this building. You know? And look, if people think that steel is superior in fire situations, we had somebody call about that not too long ago, and I'm like, well, you know, steel's doesn't hold up too well in fires. I mean, look at this. This column, that's a steel column. It melted, looks like. So be careful. All right, now, I hope I did a little bit of justice showing you the difference between tubular and red iron and why our building here at Mallett post-frame construction is superior than that. If you have any other questions, let me know. Call me, Trent, here at Mallett. I'll be glad to answer any questions. Let's get into the 5 red flag. Years in business. You can find this out at the Secretary of State. Doesn't it make sense to find out if the people that you're going to do business with at least has a business license? It does make sense to me. Licensure, make sure that they are a contractor and they have a contractor's license. It is not legal to build a building for you unless they have that license. So do your due diligence, check that out. Secondly, make sure that they don't have any violations. You can find all this out on the LSLBC. Reviews on the BBB and Google. Doesn't it make sense to check out reviews? If they don't have anything, it might be a red flag. That means they don't have any. They hadn't been in business enough to do it, or nobody likes them. all right? And then visit the contractor's facility. We invite you here. We want you to come here. It doesn't make sense if the contractor's facility is the front seat of their vehicle, folks. That's a red flag. Be careful, okay? Just like this lady we like to show sometimes. I mean, she got hurt. She was victimized by a contractor fraud. All right, this is a guy that got caught. Both of these people got caught. Scorecard. As you can see, every one of these people get an F. Southern Style, F. Rob Bill, F. Precision, F. Ranger, F. Beck, F. Fortify, F. Apache Buildings, F. Branded Buildings, F. The only people on this screen, folks, that gets 100% checks is us here at Mallett Building. Why? We continue to build our processes. We've been here for 26 years. We are a licensed engineered firm here on staff. We design our own buildings. Most of our stuff is done in-house, and we're fixing to have our road plant up and going. So, folks, it's just a superior building. I'm telling you, come show it. We'll tell you why. Come see us. Let's get to a few more specials. You got a 30 by 50 by 12, 43,998, a 40 by 50 by 12, 53,950, a 40 by 60 by 12, that's a popular size, 61,598. Now this is for the elite package, best building in the industry, folks. All right. Now, apples to apples quotes, we'll beat them apples to apple all day long. Give you $1,000 all day long. But the problem is, they're not even been in business as long as us, okay? You get all this stuff for free. 12 plus years in post frame, that's us. 20 plus years, us. Licensed since 23. Well, we've been licensed longer than that. 0 violations. A plus accredited BBB. 500 reviews on the BBB. We are a legitimate facility, folks. You get all this for free, all right? Now, here's our spec sheets. We're the only ones that I know of that give you this information and tell you exactly what you're getting in your building, okay? Don't be fooled by your quote saying treated lumber. You need to know what kind of treated lumber. You need to know if all the building is treated, okay? Because we know that, or see pictures and know that they don't use treated truss. So make sure that. We tell you that here, okay? Now, see a building. We have ambassadors out there. If you want to see a building, our building specialist can hook you up wherever you are. We have somebody that's available to show you their building and talk to you about us. Just say the word and we'll get you hooked up. All right, that's our show today. We appreciate your business. We'll see